Foods quietly works against your body instead of helping it? Stay with me because by the end of this explanation, you'll understand why food combinations matter, especially as we age. Turmeric contains an active compound called curcumin, which has been widely studied for its role in supporting the body's natural inflammatory response. Institutions such as the National Institutes of Health, NIH, and Harvard Health have discussed curcumin in the context of inflammation, oxidative stress, and overall wellness. However, most discussions focus on turmeric as a standalone ingredient. What often gets less attention is how turmeric behaves when it enters a complex environment, your digestive system, alongside other foods, supplements, or medications. The body is not a simple container where nutrients act independently. It is more like a busy traffic system where every compound interacts with others. When multiple substances influence the same biological pathway, the combined effect can be different from what you expect. For example, turmeric has been noted by sources like the Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic to have mild blood-thinning properties. On its own, this may simply support normal circulation in healthy individuals, but if someone regularly consumes other foods or supplements that influence blood clotting, such as garlic, ginger, or omega-3 fatty acids, the effects may overlap. This does not automatically mean danger, but it does mean awareness is important, particularly for older adults who may also be taking prescribed medications. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has highlighted that older adults are more likely to use multiple medications simultaneously, which increases the potential for interactions. When turmeric is added on top of that, the overall picture becomes more complex. Digestion is another key factor. As noted by the NHS, stomach acid levels and digestive resilience can change with age. Turmeric is a biologically active spice, and when combined with highly acidic foods such as citrus juices or vinegar-based drinks, it may irritate sensitive stomach linings in some individuals. This doesn't happen to everyone, but the digestive system of a senior may respond differently compared to that of a younger adult. The body's response to food is influenced by timing, quantity, and overall dietary pattern. Drinking concentrated turmeric mixtures on an empty stomach, for instance, can create a stronger effect than sprinkling a small amount into a balanced meal. Another important consideration is liver metabolism. The liver acts as the body's processing center, breaking down compounds so they can be used or eliminated safely. The World Health Organization, WHO, and NIH both emphasize the liver's central role in metabolizing both dietary substances and alcohol. Turmeric and alcohol are processed through similar pathways, while moderate culinary use of turmeric is generally considered safe for most healthy individuals. Combining high amounts of turmeric supplements with alcohol may place additional demand on liver processing systems. Again, this is not about fear, it is about understanding how overlapping metabolic demands can affect the body over time. Scientific databases like PubMed contain numerous studies examining curcumin's biological activity, but many of these studies use concentrated extracts under controlled conditions. Real-life eating patterns are different. People may consume turmeric in food, take a supplement, drink fortified beverages, and use other herbal products simultaneously. This stacking effect is rarely studied in combination, which is why credible health organizations consistently recommend moderation and consultation with healthcare professionals, particularly for older adults. This explanation is educational and not medical advice. Individual responses vary widely based on health status, medications, and overall lifestyle. The key message supported by reputable sources such as NIH, Harvard Health, Mayo Clinic, NHS, WHO, CDC, and research indexed in PubMed is that bioactive compounds like curcumin are powerful precisely because they influence real biological systems. When multiple influences act on the same system at once, the outcome may differ from what a person expects. Understanding that interaction, rather than assuming healthy plus healthy equals better, is the foundation of informed, balanced wellness choices. Turmeric is widely recognized for its active compound curcumin, which has been studied for its influence on inflammation and circulation. Reputable health organizations, such as the National Institutes of Health, NIH, and the Mayo Clinic note that curcumin may affect platelet aggregation, which is part of the body's normal blood clotting process. Platelets are tiny blood cells that gather at the site of an injury to help form clots and stop bleeding. This process is essential for survival, and the body maintains a careful balance between clotting too quickly and not clotting enough. When turmeric is consumed in typical culinary amounts, it is generally considered safe for most healthy adults. However, concerns arise when turmeric is combined with other foods or supplements that also influence blood thinning, especially in older adults. Garlic and ginger are common examples. The Cleveland Clinic and Harvard Health have both discussed how garlic may have mild antiplatelet properties, meaning it can slightly reduce the tendency of platelets to clump together. Ginger has also been referenced in scientific literature indexed on PubMed as having potential effects on clotting mechanisms. Additionally, omega-3 fatty acids commonly found in fatty fish, such as salmon, and in fish oil supplements, are known to influence platelet function. The American Heart Association and Mayo Clinic describe omega-3s as supportive of heart health partly because of their role in maintaining healthy circulation. Individually, each of these foods may fit into a balanced diet. The issue arises when multiple items with similar physiological effects are consumed together in large amounts. To understand this interaction, it helps to imagine the circulatory system as a river. If the water becomes too thick, it moves slowly and may form blockages. If it becomes too thin, it may not form protective clots efficiently when needed. The body constantly regulates this balance through complex biochemical pathways involving platelets, clotting factors, and vessel walls. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC), older adults are more likely to take prescription medications, including anticoagulants or antiplatelet drugs to manage cardiovascular conditions. When someone already taking such medications adds turmeric supplements, garlic capsules, ginger extracts, and omega-3 supplements simultaneously, the cumulative effect could potentially increase the risk of excessive bleeding or bruising. This does not mean these foods are inherently dangerous, it means their combined impact deserves attention. Research published in peer-reviewed journals and indexed in PubMed often examines isolated compounds under controlled conditions. These studies help identify mechanisms such as how curcumin might influence inflammatory markers or platelet activity. However, real-life dietary patterns are rarely isolated. A person might drink turmeric ginger tea, eat garlic-rich meals, consume grilled salmon, and take fish oil capsules in the same day. Each component may have modest effects, but together they may amplify one another. The Mayo Clinic advises individuals who are scheduled for surgery to inform their healthcare providers about supplement use, including turmeric and fish oil, because of potential bleeding concerns. This highlights how recognized medical institutions treat these interactions with caution rather than dismissal. Another important factor is dosage form. Culinary turmeric used in cooking typically contains lower concentrations of curcumin compared to standardized supplements. Harvard Health has pointed out that supplements can deliver much higher amounts of active compounds than food alone. Therefore, the interaction potential may be greater when concentrated extracts are involved. Seniors in particular may metabolize substances differently due to age-related changes in liver function, kidney function, and overall body composition, which can influence how long compounds remain active in the bloodstream. This explanation is for educational purposes only and not a substitute for professional medical advice. Authoritative bodies such as the NIH, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, CDC, and research databases like PubMed consistently emphasize moderation and individualized assessment. The key point is not to eliminate turmeric, garlic, ginger, or omega-3 rich foods from a healthy diet, but to understand that stacking multiple blood-thinning influences, especially alongside prescribed medications, can shift the body's delicate clotting balance. Awareness, communication with healthcare providers, and mindful dietary patterns are central to maintaining that balance safely. Turmeric is often promoted as a wellness-supporting spice, largely because of its active compound curcumin, which has been studied for antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Reputable institutions such as the National Institutes of Health, NIH, and Harvard Health discuss curcumin's biological activity, but they also note that bioactive compounds can influence digestive processes. When turmeric is consumed alongside highly acidic foods such as citrus juices, vinegar-based drinks, or concentrated apple cider vinegar mixtures, the combined effect may irritate the gastrointestinal tract in some individuals, particularly older adults. This is not because turmeric is inherently harmful, but because digestion becomes more sensitive with age. The NHS explains that aging can affect the esophageal sphincter, stomach acid balance, and the protective lining of the digestive tract, increasing the likelihood of acid reflux or gastritis symptoms. To understand this interaction, it helps to picture the stomach as a controlled chemical chamber. It already contains hydrochloric acid to break down food. When someone drinks lemon water or vinegar, they are introducing additional acidity into that environment. Turmeric, while not acidic itself, is biologically active and can stimulate digestive processes, including bile production. According to research indexed in PubMed, curcumin may influence gastric motility and digestive enzyme activity. For some individuals, especially those with sensitive stomachs, layering strong acidic inputs with stimulating spices may create a sensation of burning, bloating, or discomfort. The Cleveland Clinic has written about how acid reflux occurs when stomach contents move upward into the esophagus, often triggered by dietary patterns, large meals, or acidic foods. Older adults may be particularly susceptible because the lower esophageal sphincter, the muscle that prevents acid from traveling upward, can weaken with age. The Mayo Clinic describes how gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD, becomes more common over time. If someone regularly consumes turmeric mixed with lemon juice first thing in the morning on an empty stomach or drinks turmeric combined with apple cider vinegar at night, the acidity may compound the effect. An empty stomach means there is less food to buffer the acids, which can intensify irritation. While many online sources promote these mixtures as cleansing rituals, major health organizations do not describe them as necessary for digestive health. Another factor to consider is timing and meal composition. The Harvard Health Publishing Division has emphasized that how and when we eat can influence digestive comfort as much as what we eat. Eating large late-night meals or lying down soon after consuming acidic drinks can increase reflux risk. If turmeric is added to this pattern, particularly in concentrated supplement or beverage form, the overall digestive burden may increase. Research from PubMed indicates that curcumin has low natural bioavailability, which is why some supplements include compounds to enhance absorption. While this may improve uptake, it also means a stronger physiological effect, which could be more noticeable in sensitive individuals. The World Health Organization, WHO, recognizes digestive disorders as common global health concerns, especially among aging populations. While turmeric in moderate culinary use is widely regarded as safe, combining it with repeated acidic exposures may not be comfortable for everyone. The key distinction lies between occasional dietary inclusion and concentrated habitual mixtures. For example, using turmeric in a balanced meal with vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats provides a buffering effect that may reduce irritation risk compared to consuming it in sharp acidic drinks alone. This explanation is for educational purposes and not medical advice. Credible organizations such as the NIH, Mayo Clinic, NHS, Cleveland Clinic, WH, and peer-reviewed research available through PubMed consistently highlight the importance of individualized responses in moderation. Digestive systems vary, particularly among seniors who may already experience reflux, ulcers, or gastritis. Understanding how turmeric interacts within an acidic digestive environment helps explain why some combinations may cause discomfort. Rather than assuming that combining multiple healthy ingredients always enhances benefits, it is more accurate to recognize that the digestive tract operates on balance, timing, and tolerance, especially in later stages of life. Turmeric and alcohol are both processed through the liver, which is one of the body's most important metabolic organs. The liver acts as a filtration and chemical processing center, breaking down substances so they can be safely used or eliminated. According to the World Health Organization, WH, and the National Institutes of Health, NIH, the liver plays a central role in metabolizing dietary compounds, medications, and alcohol. When alcohol is consumed, liver enzymes, particularly those in the cytochrome P450 system, work to convert it into less harmful substances. Turmeric's active compound, curcumin, is also metabolized in the liver, while moderate culinary use of turmeric is generally regarded as safe for healthy individuals. Combining concentrated turmeric supplements with alcohol may increase the metabolic workload placed on liver cells. The NIH's Office of Dietary Supplements explains that curcumin is biologically active and can influence multiple cellular pathways, including those involved in inflammation and oxidative stress. At the same time, alcohol metabolism produces byproducts such as acetaldehyde, which the CDC and WHO identify as potentially harmful when present in high amounts or over prolonged periods. The liver must neutralize these compounds efficiently to maintain balance. When alcohol and high-dose turmeric supplements are consumed together, the liver is asked to process multiple active substances simultaneously. While this does not automatically mean damage will occur, it does mean that metabolic demand increases. Age is an important factor. The Mayo Clinic notes that aging can reduce liver efficiency and blood flow to the organ, meaning substances may remain active in the system longer than they would in younger individuals. Seniors are also more likely to take prescription medications, many of which are metabolized by the same liver enzyme systems. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) emphasizes that polypharm pharmacy, the use of multiple medications, is common among older adults, increasing the potential for interactions. Adding alcohol and concentrated herbal supplements into this mix can further complicate how substances are processed. Research indexed in PubMed has examined curcumin's effects on liver enzymes and inflammatory markers. Some studies explore its potential supportive role in liver health under controlled laboratory conditions. However, these studies often involve isolated variables and carefully monitored doses. Real-world behavior differs significantly. For example, someone may consume wine with dinner while also taking a turmeric capsule marketed for joint support. The assumption that turmeric might counteract alcohol's effects is not supported by major health authorities such as Harvard Health or the Mayo Clinic. In fact, these institutions consistently recommend moderation in alcohol intake and caution with supplements. Another consideration is dosage form. Turmeric used as a spice in food contains lower concentrations of curcumin compared to standardized extracts found in capsules or liquid shots. Harvard Health has noted that supplement formulations can deliver higher bioactive concentrations than culinary use alone. Higher concentrations may increase both potential benefits and potential interactions. When alcohol is present, liver enzymes prioritize breaking down ethanol, which can temporarily alter how other compounds are metabolized. This may theoretically change how long curcumin or other substances remain active in the body. The WHO classifies alcohol consumption as a significant global health factor, particularly when used frequently or in large amounts. While moderate intake may be socially common, the cumulative impact on liver health is well documented. Turmeric itself is not identified by major institutions as harmful when used appropriately, but stacking biologically active compounds without awareness can create unnecessary strain. This explanation is for educational purposes only and not medical advice. Authoritative sources including the NIH, WHO, Mayo Clinic, CDC, Harvard Health, and peer-reviewed research available on PubMed consistently emphasize individualized assessment, especially for seniors or those with existing liver conditions. Understanding that both alcohol and concentrated turmeric products rely on the same organ for processing helps clarify why combining them, particularly in high or frequent amounts, requires thoughtful consideration rather than assumption. Turmeric has shifted from being a simple kitchen spice to becoming a widely marketed supplement ingredient found in capsules, powders, teas, and fortified snack products. This shift changes the context in which it affects the body. When turmeric is used in cooking, it is typically consumed in relatively small amounts within a complex meal that contains fiber, fats, and other nutrients that naturally buffer and regulate absorption. However, supplements often contain concentrated extracts of curcumin, the primary active compound in turmeric. According to the National Institutes of Health (NIH) Office of Dietary Supplements, curcumin has low natural bioavailability, which is why many manufacturers add compounds designed to enhance absorption. While this may increase the compound's presence in the bloodstream, it also means the physiological impact can be stronger than what would occur through food alone. Harvard Health has repeatedly emphasized that dietary supplements are not regulated in the same way as prescription medications, meaning potency and purity may vary between products. This variability can make it difficult for individuals to know exactly how much active compound they are consuming, especially when layering multiple sources. For example, someone might cook daily with turmeric, drink a turmeric latte, consume a wellness shot containing curcumin, and also take a standardized capsule. Each source alone may seem moderate, but together they may significantly increase total intake. Research indexed in PubMed highlights that curcumin interacts with several biological pathways, including inflammatory markers, liver enzymes, and platelet function. When multiple products overlap in their active ingredients, the cumulative biological influence may be greater than intended. The Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic both advise patients to inform healthcare providers about all supplements they take. precisely because stacking ingredients can create unintended interactions. Older adults are particularly at risk due to the higher likelihood of taking prescription medications. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, notes that polypharm pharmacy is common among seniors, and the more substances introduced into the body, the greater the complexity of metabolic interactions. Turmeric supplements may influence blood clotting pathways or liver enzyme activity, and when combined with medications metabolized through similar pathways, the effects may compound. Another factor is the perception that natural automatically means safe. The World Health Organization, WHO, has acknowledged the widespread use of traditional and herbal medicines globally, while also emphasizing the importance of evidence-based evaluation and monitoring for interactions. Just because turmeric originates from a plant does not mean concentrated extracts behave identically to culinary amounts. PubMed includes studies exploring both potential benefits and possible adverse reactions associated with high-dose curcumin supplementation, including gastrointestinal discomfort and alterations in liver enzyme levels in some cases. These findings do not suggest that turmeric is dangerous for the general population, but they do reinforce the principle that dose and context matter. Lifestyle habits also influence how supplements affect the body. Sleep quality, hydration, stress levels, and overall dietary patterns can modify inflammatory responses and metabolic efficiency. Harvard Health frequently underscores that no single supplement replaces foundational health behaviors such as balanced nutrition, regular physical activity, and adequate rest. When individuals rely heavily on supplements while neglecting these basics, they may overestimate the supplement's role and underestimate cumulative intake. This explanation is educational and not a substitute for professional medical advice. Credible institutions including the NIH, Harvard Health, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, CDC, and peer-reviewed research accessible through PubMed consistently recommend moderation, transparency with healthcare providers, and careful label reading. The central issue is not turmeric itself, but the layering of multiple concentrated sources without recognizing the additive effect. Understanding how supplements differ from culinary use and how overlapping ingredients may amplify biological responses supports more informed and balanced wellness decisions, particularly for older adults managing complex health profiles. Turmeric is not inherently harmful, and in fact it has been widely studied for its potential supportive role in overall wellness. The National Institutes of Health, NIH, and Harvard Health both discuss curcumin, turmeric's primary active compound, in the context of inflammation, oxidative stress, and general health research. However, one consistent theme across reputable institutions such as the Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, and the World Health Organization, WHO, is that balance is essential, particularly for older adults. The body operates through interconnected systems, circulatory, digestive, metabolic, and when one compound influences multiple pathways, context becomes critical. Turmeric may interact with blood clotting factors, digestive secretions, and liver enzymes. When consumed thoughtfully within a varied diet, it is generally considered safe for most healthy individuals. But when layered excessively through supplements, fortified beverages, and overlapping dietary patterns, its impact may extend beyond what was intended. Aging changes how the body processes substances. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, notes that older adults are more likely to manage chronic conditions and take prescription medications, increasing the potential for interactions. The Mayo Clinic has also explained that liver and kidney efficiency can gradually decline with age, which may alter how long compounds remain active in the bloodstream. Because turmeric's active components are metabolized through liver pathways, excessive intake, especially in supplement form, may create additional metabolic demand. This does not imply toxicity at culinary levels. Rather, it underscores why moderation and individualized assessment are important. Harvard Health frequently emphasizes that dietary supplements should not replace foundational health habits such as balanced nutrition, regular physical activity, stress management, and adequate sleep. These lifestyle pillars influence inflammation, cardiovascular health, and metabolic balance more consistently than any single compound. For example, consistent sleep supports hormonal regulation, while moderate physical movement promotes healthy circulation naturally. When turmeric is added to a lifestyle already grounded in these habits, it may complement overall wellness. When it is used as a substitute for these behaviors, expectations may exceed scientific evidence. Research available through PubMed demonstrates that curcumin has complex biochemical effects interacting with signaling molecules and cellular pathways. While some laboratory studies show promising results, these findings often involve controlled environments and standardized extracts. Real-world individuals vary widely in genetics, gut microbiome composition, medication use, and dietary patterns. The Cleveland Clinic advises patients to disclose supplement use before medical procedures or when adjusting medications, reflecting the recognition that natural products can influence clinical outcomes. The WHO also highlights the importance of monitoring herbal medicine use to ensure safe integration with conventional care. Importantly, major health organizations consistently avoid extreme language regarding turmeric. They neither portray it as a cure nor as a universal risk. Instead, they stress context. Culinary turmeric used in moderate amounts as part of a diverse diet is widely regarded as safe. Problems are more likely to arise when individuals combine high-dose supplements with other biologically active substances, including alcohol or medications that affect blood clotting or liver metabolism. This explanation is for educational purposes only and not medical advice. Decisions about diet and supplement use should be discussed with a qualified healthcare professional familiar with an individual's health history. Institutions such as the NIH, Mayo Clinic, Harvard Health, CDC, WH, Cleveland Clinic, and peer-reviewed research indexed on PubMed consistently reinforce a principle that applies broadly to nutrition science. Sustainable health is built on balance, consistency, and informed choices rather than extremes. Understanding turmeric within this balanced framework